Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, everybody. Hi. It's nice to see you. How's everybody feeling? Not sick, I hope. I'm pretty sure I have managed to have an encounter with just about everything that's going around. Just about everything that's going around over the past several weeks. I'm feeling okay now. It's been a harrowing couple of days because I got hit with something new, but I'm okay. I feel good. I'd say my voice is about maybe like 85% right now. So, no tea today. Who would say no tea today? What am I, a Philistine? Hi, everybody. How did I get into being an audio creator? Well, it was a dark and stormy night. It was the height of the pandemic. Everybody was stuck in their homes, not knowing what to do. I had lost a lot of steam around my desk job, and I happened to cross a little subreddit called Gone Wild Audio, which, if you're not familiar, it's really where a lot of this stuff was born. I think it's just like a bunch of hobbyists doing this kind of work. And I thought to myself, I could do that. I think I'd be really good at that. So I started doing it. And right around the same time, a bunch of at least 2 or 3 prominent male VAs at the time ended up having a bit of a fall from grace for a variety of reasons, for bad behavior, and so there was a bit of a gap. There was an opening for new people to to get in and start building a name. So I put out a couple of audios just to kind of test the water, see how they do, and they were received really well. And then I started a TikTok account in June of that year. Got to 100,000 followers within a couple of months, and started building a Patreon, which is still running at my link, and it's just been going from there. I've narrated a few books since then. They're available on Audible, and I don't know. At this stage, I'm just figuring it out. I'm just trying new stuff and seeing where inspiration takes me. I feel like I'm feeling the fire to do some more involved storyline based audios again. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm still working on a number of projects that feel really big and really um, like once I get these through, then I will have a lot more mind space to think about more involved storylines. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people have found me on the Quinn app. It's pretty awesome. Um, I'm very excited and happy about the relationship that I've been building there. Seems like a lot of people have heard my work, so that's just it's really humbling. I actually think audio is kind of an untapped. It's still the potential of audio is untapped. Like there's a lot of like when people really get into surround sound and really great sound effects and storytelling and great acting and great voices, the sky's the limit, really. I think a lot of people ended up getting on Quinn because of something they've seen from me. I hope you guys tell Quinn that. You should mention that to Quinn. Like go over to their account and just at me a lot and tell them how much you love listening to me on their app. I think that would be, if anything that I would ask you to do, that would be it. Just like at me on whatever it is that they're posting, just make sure that they see it. I think Quinn is doing they're doing God's work, you know. They're filling a gap that is much needed because Lord knows most online spicy content has been mostly oriented towards a different gender. And I believe there are many more opportunities for other types of content and audiences. But also, if you are if you really love my work and want to hear a more range of stuff that I do, including rambles and non-spicy content and all kinds of stuff, there's the Patreon, which is through my profile link. So as I usually do with lives like this, I usually solicit my community for stuff to read, just to wet the wet the palate, so to speak. Yeah, thanks. What's my favorite cupcake? Oh my god. Um, I'm pretty sure the best cupcake I've had was I don't even remember where it was from, but it was like a chocolate cupcake with peppermint or mint frosting. Yeah, I don't even know where I had that, unfortunately, but I know that I ate more than one. I have a weakness for peppermint and chocolate going together. So anyway, as I was saying, I usually solicit the community for things to read, and so via the Discord community, The first request is from Phantom's Rogue, and it's a poem by Matthew Arnold that's called Longing. Come to me in my dreams, and then by day I shall be well again. For so the night will more than pay the hopeless longing of the day. Come, as thou camest 1,000 times, a messenger from radiant climes, and smile on thy new world, and be as kind to others as to me. Or, as thou never camest in sooth, come now and let me dream it truth, and part my hair and kiss my brow, and say, my love, why sufferest thou? Come to me in my dreams, and then by day I shall be well again, for so the night will more than pay the hopeless longing of the day. Speaking of dreams, the other night I had a dream where I was sitting in this chair and talking into a microphone, but it was in a theater with like people in the audience. It was sort of like a live show. I don't know what my psyche is trying to tell me, but that was a pretty cool image. I don't know if I have the I don't know if I have the pull to be able to fill a theater, but it's a fun thought. I just completed an audio novel, kind of an anime style writing and premise. I can't remember the company, Meta Elements, I think. But they seemed to enjoy my work. So who knows? I might be doing more with them. We'll see. You know, I believe in the kind of degradation that is really just emphasizing and uplifting people's pleasure. Like being insulting is like, I guess some people like that, but I have no desire for that. I just want to, help people drop into whatever their experience is. You get the best sleep listening to me. Well, I hope that was a sleep audio. Because if not, then uh-oh. Thank you, I guess. Am I working on anything new? I do have a couple of new things that I'm working on. One of which is not going to be on Quinn per se, but it is a big project, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So that's exciting for me. Would I record some audios with more of my natural tone and cadence versus the VA style? I suppose I could. I mean, yeah, there are some audios that are a little bit more, natural me. You just kind of have to dig for them. They're in my library somewhere. How am I feeling? I'm still, I came down with something new over the weekend, which I'm recovering from. But at least the throat thing is past, so I'm through that part. And I think brighter days are ahead. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thea Luna. Wait, yes, Thea Luna requests a poem by Morgan Harper Nichols. And I'll just read this with my normal voice and see how that lands. On days like this, may you never forget how far you've come, and how the sun will run through entryways and half-closed blinds, right in the middle of the coldest of times. And your tangled remnants of sleepless nights, somehow, you survived. You made it to January. And maybe, just maybe, on days like today when nothing is changing and everything is the same, on the coldest of days, under a burning white sun, may you never forget how far you have come. Honestly, yes, I have. Oh, thank you. Yes, I have gotten Eric Bana. I get Eric Bana. I get I don't know who's the guy who starred in Walking Dead. That dude. I get that dude a lot. Yeah, Rick Grimes. Joe Manganiello on occasion. Yeah, those are the three. Ooh, I don't even know who Jeffrey Dean Morgan is. I probably would recognize him, but werewolf energy. I don't know where you get that from. Okay, hear me out. Walking Dead, but with werewolves instead of zombies. What would we call it? Walking Prey? Ooh. Like, imagine that society just crumbles based on an epidemic of werewolf syndrome. Different clans of werewolves just taking over everything. Oh, man. I bet somebody's already written a book about it. Werewolf the Masquerade, is that a thing? I don't even know if that's a thing. Part 2 of the werewolf audio. Well, I mean, October is not too far away. There's a lot of fun monster stuff that can be had. Tigress Katie requests a poem by Jolene Daniels. It's called The Little Things in Life. Too often we don't realize what we have until it's gone. Too often we wait too late to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Sometimes it seems we hurt the ones we hold dearest in our hearts, and we allow stupid things to tear our lives apart. Far too many times we let unimportant things get in our mind, and by then, it's usually too late to see what made us blind. So be sure that you let people know how much they mean to you. Take the time to say the words before your time is through. Be sure that you appreciate everything you've got, and be thankful for the little things in life that means a lot. Um, I do. I have not played D&D in a while. I just a lot of things in my life have been so um, in flux that it's been very challenging for me to make a long-standing commitment to join a group on a regular basis. But when I do, I tend to enjoy playing sneaky roguelike characters. That's my thing. Um, I don't know. Like I used to. I know that in real life, being a tall individual, I would not be ideal for being the sneaky person, but one can hope and dream. Like I'm the one who likes to sneak out the back and figure out like I, I don't know how many video games I used to play where I would try to sneak my way through the entire level without disturbing anybody and just get the goal or kill the person or whatever it was. And I just wanted to be the ghost. Like I just wanted to get in there and not have anybody notice and then leave. A rogue wizard, a rogue sorcerer. Yeah. Yeah. That's like the ultimate for me. Jules requests a poem by Janabir Ramirez. Janabir Ramirez. It's called In His Smiles I Knew What Love Is. We are solely gambling with a game. The commoners call it love or lame. Whoever is first to fall is to be blame. It will arise and cease by a fiery flame. All he needs to do was plaster a smile, and my heart shall run a million mile. It seeks to be near even for a little while, to hear its music and omit what is vile. Falling in love with him caps the globe as he slyly untangles every knotty rope. He pulled me out of my slippery slope. All of me conspire as he rose my hope. Thank you. The kitty is, she's fun. She's very sweet. She only let me have that one take because, it's not a great take, but it. Did my dragon burn all the way? No. Am I still gardening? Yes. Gardening has been a lot more fun for me this year than in past years. Just put down a bunch of wood chips on a bunch of areas of the yard. What kind of fragrance do I wear? I like woodsy scents, cedars, burnt, smoky, that sort of thing. A little Annabelle Lee, a little bit of the EAP. Yeah, that audio is pretty intense. I think it probably is it's probably the most intense of the ones that I have. So congratulations on getting through it. That audio is not available on Quinn, unfortunately, because it's a little bit too edgy for them. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. She was a child, and I was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud by night, chilling my Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. I still, to this day, I've read this poem like I don't know how many times, and I still stumble on that word. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of a cloud, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life, and my bride, in her sepulchre, there by the sea, in her tomb by the side of the sea. Annabelle Lee. Yeah, Poe just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? He's a good one. Oh, are you working? You're working while listening to me? Naughty, naughty. Don't you dare get distracted. Don't you dare have trouble focusing on your work. Mustn't lose focus. Marissa requests a poem called Ancestors. No author mentioned. You were carried here by so many hands, the hands of your ancestors pouring your life like precious water from cup to cup, passing it forward. And however unsteady their hands were, here you are. So live your life like you are thousands of years in the making. How long have I been doing this? December 2020 is when I started. But I didn't officially make it my thing until probably June 2021. Like, yeah. Lenore requests a popular song in a different voice. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, so I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray and the moon is out, shining slowly, softly through. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. That was You Are My Sunshine in a growly voice. What did I study to train for as a kid? Um, I'm one of those people who was sort of cursed with pretty good natural ability. So there are a lot of things that I was pretty good at, and nothing that really stood out as a core passion of mine. Um, Except for video games, really. Like I went into the video game industry because I loved them, and I just didn't feel a huge passion for other things. And then I wanted to write for video games and do voices and that sort of thing. But my way of trying to get into that was a little bit more direct and a lot more challenging. So now I would love to do some writing and voices for video games, but I'm doing it from a standpoint of just, enjoying other things that I love, which is just using my voice for fun stuff and being creative. I studied English in college. So that's where that comes from. Arcade, old school, gamer systems, you name it, I've done it. I've loved it. Arcade, I was really into Soul Calibur 2, the arcade version. I also, pretty much fighting games were my arcade kryptonite. Pinball, there's a pinball machine called, Castle Madness, I think. Something like that. I can't remember. That I was obsessed with for a long time. Game systems. I was a Nintendo kid, and I grew up swearing by Nintendo. And then I had my hopes dashed, and became an Xbox kid when the Xbox came out, and then followed Xbox, and then by the time the PS4 came out, I then became a PS4 person. Yeah, a lot of my TikToks have been muted because of the Universal issue. And I've gone back to try to replace the audio on some of those, and it doesn't work. Like, it just replaces the whole audio and removes my voice, which is not really ideal. Mandy requests, she is a paradox. She is faithful and yet detached. She is committed and yet relaxed. She loves everyone, yet no one. She is sociable, but also a loner. She is gentle and yet tough. She is passionate, but can also be platonic. In short, she is predictable in her unpredictability. I contain multitudes. Aw, thanks for the heart. Oh, yeah. PC games, I was also really into League of Legends for a long time. Highly addicted to League of Legends. I played a lot of Call of Duty. Played a lot of Team Fortress back in the day. I don't know, this is going to date me, but I played Team Fortress back when it was an original Quake mod. Like, before it became a Half-Life mod, TFC. I played Team Fortress, and I was obsessed for a long time. If you Google Quake World Team Fortress game footage on YouTube, you can find some real old school competitive gaming. Like, that's like 90s. It's something. And some of the some of the videos of those competitive games from way back when, I'm actually in some of them, under a completely different handle. So yeah, it's pretty funny. Lord of the Rings fan? Oh man. All you have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given to you. I did a TikTok recently. What's the quote? A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early, for he arrives precisely when he means to. Although the TikTok it's not a wizard. Oh yeah, Game Boy. Legend of the what is it? Legend of the Windfish, Zelda. Loved that game. Big fan. Yeah. Link's Awakening. Oh, that was SNES. Yeah, the SNES. I played Dreamcast. The only game I played on Dreamcast was really Soul Calibur and Soul Calibur 2, though. I have not splurged to get myself a Switch. This is my gamer failing, so I've missed out on some of the better, more recent Zelda games, unfortunately. I do have a PS5, so I played Witcher 3 and God of War and a bunch of those games. Loved them. But yeah, unfortunately, I've missed out on the Switch. I've not missed out. I just haven't sprung for it. Brina requests a poem by Becky Hemsley. It goes like this. As children, we're convinced that monsters hide beneath our beds, but as adults, we soon realize that they walk the streets instead. It's not their face that's monstrous, it's their loathing and their lies. For it isn't how they look, the monsters, who they are inside. And at first we tiptoe around them, terrified to make a noise, but slowly, very surely, we are bound to find our voice. But as fear gives way to anger and our loathing multiplies, we start becoming monstrous and we think we are justified. But flames won't put out fire, water will not halt a flood, and we cannot stop the monsters by behaving as they would. You see, anyone that's ever loved somebody else before knows no matter how much hate we feel, love always matters more. So, though you're brave to fight them and your courage makes you tough, don't fight them out of hate, but to protect the things you love. And when life gets too scary, promise me you will make sure that you won't become a monster, but you'll still learn how to roar. I love this poem. There's I can't remember where I heard this, but there's sort of a wise saying, an anecdote that says that, in the cosmic war between good and evil, the way to defeat Lucifer, the Lord of all evil, is to love him back into light and grace. that, the real way that we cannot, that the war will not be won by just diving into, by becoming a monster, as this poem says. I think that could be a TikTok. Thank you. What kind of tea do I drink? I typically drink turmeric tea with a little bit of ginger and some honey, just to keep my throat in a good place. Yeah. I've tested other teas, and there are some teas that make my throat numb, and it doesn't feel quite as expressive. So I don't know. I'm just learning how to take care of my voice. I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. That's for sure. This weekend was a bit harrowing, but I'm back on the upside. What brand of tea? Let's see. Traditional medicinals turmeric tea. The creation of 1,000 forests is in one acorn. Ralph Waldo Emerson. That is tea wisdom for you right there. I don't know. I got in trouble for talking about my TMI of the day last time. I don't know if you actually really want my TMIs because we have to keep up the illusion on some level, right? I mean, I do spicy audios for work. I don't want people to think about the other stuff that happens in my life. I suppose my TMI is that my hair is now getting long enough that I have to do a lot more to dry my hair, whereas it was short enough where I could just like towel it and then I was good. But now, like, look at this. Like, I sit down on I lay down on my pillow after a shower, and after a while my pillow is soaked. And yeah, that's hey now, yes, okay. Orcus emo era commence. That's for sure. Yes. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going for, but it's just that's where I'm going right now. Make it a mohawk. I feel like I'd need like rubber cement to get it to do that at this point. Liberty spikes. Oh yeah. Becca requests a poem by one of our favorites, Nikita Gill. What do women want? Let's see what Nikita Gill says that women want. To dance in the rain, to know a gentle full sleep, to walk nights in the moonlight alone fearlessly, to live a whole day without the constant vigilance, to not lose hours upon hours in her life to safety and due diligence, to sit in a garden full of honeyed flowers and stare at the soft blue sky, to be known as more than wife, mother, sister, daughter, to be understood for her inner wolf, to nurture her dreams, to know her mother before she was her mother, to sing to a moon that loves her back, a slice of quiet in all the noise, to love her body fearlessly, a bouquet of peace, a taste of the freedom that Eve felt when she leapt. That was What Do Women Want by Nikita Gill. There's another anecdote that I heard recently that really the opposing forces, it's not good and evil. It's actually coherence and chaos. It's about alignment and dissonance. And both forces are important because when things crystallize and come together into coherence in a certain way, the only thing that can break it apart and allow it to reform as something better and greater is chaos. So, in that sense, there is sort of divine chaos that comes in the form of rabble rousers and people going against like rebels and artists and people who are challenging the status quo. And I feel like we're in an era where that's we're things are happening. Yeah. Ivory Lou requests a poem by Sarah Sheehan called Fall in Love with Yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with the intention to fall, but with the uncertainty of what is to come. Fall in love with chapters that are behind you and the moments to come. Fall in love with the scars you hold, even if they can't be forgiven or even if they can't be forgotten or forgiven. Fall in love with your flaws, even if they can't be erased. Fall in love with your vulnerability, your wit, and your heart. Falling in love with your life is a form of self-care, but loving the life you live is a form of self-love. That was Fall in Love with Yourself by Sarah Sheehan. I like that one. Let's see. Anybody watch anything interesting lately? Pablo Neruda, Don't Go Far Off. Let's see. Yeah, I saw the Miyazaki film that just won Best Animated Picture. I can't. My brain's not 100% right now, so I can't remember the name of it. But it's the one with the crane in it. Um, the Boy and the Heron, right? The Heron, not the crane. But it was great. It was really really amazing to see that. Come and Be My Baby. That will be. I'll do that one next. Let's see. This is Don't Go Far Off by Pablo Neruda. Don't go far off, not even for a day, because, I don't know how to say it, a day is long and I will be waiting for you. As in an empty station when the trains are parked off somewhere else, asleep. Don't leave me even for an hour, because then the little drops of anguish will all run together. The smoke that roams, looking for a home, will drift into me, choking my lost heart. Oh, may your silhouette never dissolve on the beach. May your eyelids never flutter into the empty dissonant distance. Don't leave me for a second, my dearest. Because in that moment you'll have gone so far, I'll wander mazily all over the earth, asking, will you come back? Will you leave me here, dying? Don't go far off. Also had a request for Come and Be My Baby by Maya Angelou. The highway is full of big cars going nowhere fast. And folks is smoking anything that'll burn. Some people wrap their lives around a cocktail glass, and you sit wondering where you're going to turn. I got it. Come and be my baby. Some prophets say the world is going to end tomorrow, but others say we've got a week or two. The paper is full of every kind of blooming horror, and you sit wondering what you're going to do. I got it. Come for me and be my baby. I don't know. I added a little bit of a thing at the end there. So, I had a request emailed to me. That seems interesting. It's a quote by Rainier Maria Rilke from Letters to a Young Poet. How could we forget those ancient myths that stand at the beginning of all races? The myths about dragons that at the last moment are transformed into princesses. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. From Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet. My favorite superhero. I've talked about this a little bit before. My favorite superhero for a long time has been Nightcrawler. Um, just because I feel like I would love to, I think teleportation is probably one of the coolest abilities that any superhero has. Um, Plus, he's kind of ostracized and not very well accepted, and sometimes I feel that way, you know. Um, but it just depends on which team we're talking about. Like that's the X-Men. Of course, I love Wolverine of the main guys. Um, but I don't know of the Avengers squad. Probably I want to say Hawkeye. I really like Hawkeye. Um, uh, of the DC crew, I mean Batman for sure. Yeah, Batman's my guy. Um, yeah, I don't know. Super heroine. Um, Mystique. Yeah. I think, well, I guess she's sort of like a heroine in some stories and a villain in others. So Mystique's kind of an anomaly. Um, like just a straightforward heroine. Um, uh-oh. I have to do the security thing. Hold on. Um, my favorite super, like, sort of straightforward super heroine. Um, oh gosh. Uh, I mean, the Wasp, definitely. Um, my favorite Marvel villain. Hmm. My favorite Marvel villain. I don't know. I mean, Marvel villains, like the thing about villains is that they are designed to be so frustratingly powerful and like, you just don't know how the heroes are going to defeat them. Um, I think like Thanos is a little bit too obvious because he was the main storyline. Um, I liked Apocalypse, but I didn't love how they portrayed Apocalypse in the X-Men movie. What was it? X-Men Apocalypse. Um, hmm, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to know if they're going to do Doctor Doom and see how that gets played out. But yeah, DC villains. I think DC has it on villains. I think DC does a little bit better with villains. The Joker is by far my favorite villain. On that side, Harlequin for sure. Um, so that I am pretty excited for the new Joker movie coming out. Definitely. I'm going to do a request by Elsmerath, a poem called Beautiful Agony by Jack Townsend. In glass entwined she sits, aching beautiful agony. Sweet sinister lips, my mirrored soul. She sits, love, sweet love, burning, twisted pleasure, tainted by my touch. I call her mine forever. She sits, waiting, writhing, the reflection of a goddess. I saved them for her. Pages burned and tattered, mended with a mangled claw, scribbled phantom words of wolf, written lion's roar. She ignites me. This twisted thing sets my love aflame, rakes my soul across the coals, then makes me whole again. Through the flames she takes firm grasp, my heart pulsing in her palm, a decision she could make any time, to smother or to calm. Would she? She could, and even that would be enough. No, that twisted thing, scorched and changed, she holds the lump softly still, cares for it, molds it, until what once was broken stands renewed. Beautiful Agony by Jack Townsend. I feel like the most misunderstood villain is probably Poison Ivy, I want to say. Like, she's just trying to save the planet, y'all. Like, you know, I don't know what everybody's problem is. Amanda Joyous requests Invictus by William Ernest Henry. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance I've not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll, I am the master of my own fate. I am the captain of my soul. Invictus by William Ernest Henry. I think that's a poem that inspired Nelson Mandela, right? I'm pretty sure. Who's my favorite Joker? I mean, Mark Hamill, hands down. No question. Again, I'm still a little on recovery, so my brain's not full. Oh, yeah, Heath Ledger is a close second. I mean, Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger probably could stand together as the best Jokers of all time. Joaquin Phoenix is awesome, but like it's just hard to follow, you know. Well, 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 look what the cat dragged in. If you could join a group, which would you pick? Justice League or Avengers or X-Men? Probably X-Men. I mean, you know, like, yes, to any of them, but if X-Men by my preference, but it just depends on what my ability is. I mean, I was always kind of okay. So I was so excited for the X-Men movie, the original like live action X-Men movie that introduced Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and was centered around Rogue and all of that. But the problem is that Rogue character, I can't remember what her name was, the woman who played her. I mean, she was in like what, 3 or 4 movies, and she never became the Rogue. Like she never became Rogue, the Superwoman from the comics and from the from all the other stuff. I felt so gypped about that. Yeah, and Anna Paquin. I think Anna Paquin deserved better from that series as far as her character is concerned. But Anna Paquin. I don't know. I haven't seen the new cartoon yet. I want to though. So don't say anything. Chris requests a poem called "The Ink." It's a poem from "The Ink Dark Moon" by Izumi Shikibu. A man came secretly and left in heavy rain. In the poem he sent the next morning, he mentioned having gotten wet. I replied, love soaked, rain soaked. If people ask which drenched your sleeves, what will you say? I like that one a lot. I'm not, there's a lot of stuff on my plate these days. Red light lives do not feel quite indicated yet. But who knows what's going to happen in the future. What do I think about Scarlet Witch? I saw Doctor Strange in the, what is it, the multiverse of madness or whatever it is. I gotta say, Scarlet Witch kind of terrifies me. I think she's the scariest villain I've ever seen. Like actually scary to me. Because there's nobody that can stop her, really. I think I was more traumatized by the fact that she took on my homie Patrick Stewart and just laid him out. So that was heartbreaking to me. That's true. It was just one multiverse. Who knows? I mean, at least the ending was, it was a good ending. Well, hello everybody. Eight Shakespeare's 18th sonnet. We're having a lot of superhero talk right now. This is the Marvel Marvel fan club live. While we're reading Shakespeare, just no NBD. By William Shakespeare, Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. But sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou grow'st. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Are the boys worth watching? I've done the first 2 seasons. I've not embarked on the 3rd season yet, but it's good. I enjoy it. It's dark. It's real dark, but it's good. Khalil Gibran, a little Khalil. A random page. How do you throw a space party? You plan it. Oh, how about Khalil Gibran on clothes? And the weaver said, "Speak to us of clothes." And he answered, "Your clothes conceal much of your beauty, yet they hide not the unbeautiful. And though you seek in garments the freedom of privacy, you may find in them a harness and a chain. Would that you could meet the sun and the wind with more of your skin and less of your raiment. For the breath of life is in the sunlight, and the hand of life is in the wind. Some of you say it is the north wind who has woven the clothes we wear, and I say, aye, it was the north wind. But shame was his loom, and the softening of the sinews was his thread. And when his work was done, he laughed in the forest, "Forget not that modesty is for a shield against the eye of the unclean. And when the unclean shall be no more, what were modesty but a fetter and a fouling of the mind? And forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair." That is Khalil Gibran on clothes. All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me. It's been such a pleasure. I need to take my leave because my voice is starting to complain. But thank you. Sending you love. And I will be talking to you soon in all the ways.